lyrics and things like that. And I made light of things of that nature, the content of the lyrics. But this today I'm on a different tune, right? I I want to take time and acknowledge DMX, man, right? Now, I really did not listen to a lot of DMX music that wasn't on the mainstream radio for us, but I did watch all of his movies, I think. I think I watched every one of DMX movies.
Okay.
Um, so for DMX, what was your first song that like got you popping with DMX, like made DMX on your radar?
It would have to be uh All I Want Is You. I think that's with Faith Evans. And the whole, I mean, because my cousin, actually, it's so many songs. My cousin was a hard DMX fan. Like, he was like die hard, rap all his lyrics. So I listen to DMX frequently.
See,
But my
like it's
favorite song
crazy.
is All I Want Is You with Faith Evans.
It's crazy because like my cousins are from New York, but I didn't really hang with my cousins like that growing up. My baby mother's from New York. All she did was listen to New York music, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like every once in a blue, I would hear some DMX, and that was probably like really the most I've ever like listened to more the CDs. His covers were like really like compelling like that, right? New York music it just wasn't my thing, But as far as what he did in the game, and for a lot of the artists like Eve, Dragon, and things like that, the Rough Rider whole movement with
Yep.
the Rough Riders. A lot of stuff I didn't even know. After he passed out this, I found out that he started actually making music in the '80s.
Yeah, that's what I found out. I was like, wow.
Now it's amazing because I heard some old DMX, right? And his
Uh-huh.
first style was very much so like the '80s. So you could tell he was influenced by the rappers around him in New York.
Mm-hmm.
you know, like growing up, that the cool Mo D's and like that, not that type of style, but that type of flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point he changed it to that real grungy, hardcore style we now know and love, right? So
Right.
it's like, dang man, I did not know that this man been rapping since the '80s. And you see that they sold his mask. They're talking about now his masters is a topic because there was rumors that Jay-Z and Beyonce were going to buy these masters and give them to his children.
So that's a rumor. I didn't really
But
know.
well, I haven't heard any confirmation on it. I've heard
Uh-huh.
some sources say that it's not true. I've heard some sources say that it is true. Me personally, I don't know if it is true or not true, but it does open up a whole interesting topic about what we talk about all the time on Balls Biz Radio, this music industry, right?
Yeah.
Now, DMX, legend. DMX, I don't know if he was the owner of Rough Riders or just one of like the top artists on Rough Riders, right? And that's probably when things would get interesting, you know.
Mm.
Now, have you listened to any DMX music in the past couple of weeks or
Yes.
in the last music past?
And it wasn't on purpose. It was actually I was listening to the radio, and I didn't know how affected I was by his passing until his music. I was literally just driving, singing, and crying. Like, oh my gosh, it's so sad. Like, wow.
Yeah, it's
And I
crazy.
don't
So,
know
like,
that man, but I felt it.
do you think that so the family? There's rumors, and this is allegedly that he passed away from a COVID vaccine and not a drug overdose.
I did hear that. I did hear that. I did hear some other sources kind of saying, well, that's a reach, but we don't really know what happened.
They're never going to tell us, and even if they did tell us, we'd have to believe that it's a little funny story anyway to it, right? But
Right.
let's focus on the facts, like that. DMX was a drug abuser, right? He did abuse drugs, even if he did overdose or did die from vaccine. The facts of the matter is that we lost a legend, you know, at a young age. Um, seemingly,
At a young age.
yeah, 50 is young. You don't think so?
50 is mid age.
Mid age is still young to just like drop and die.
Well, okay. So I feel bad about this, but I mean, like, it, I, it's shocking that
Does the
he passed
drugs taint
away.
it? Does the drugs taint it?
The drugs definitely change it.
Yeah, and that's what's weird. Like, there's people that will not acknowledge the drugs. That's like a far fetch, right?
Hmm.
But the drugs taints it a little bit. Not his legacy as far as in his music, but
Hmm.
his legacy as far as like him as a person, right?
Right.
Now, a lot of people look at me and they talk about, oh man, you can't judge, you should not judge another person. And I find it funny because I don't judge anyone, right?
Right.
And I kind of put myself in a position with wanting to be on the radio and wanting to talk that I put myself in people's business, right? Because I need stuff to talk about. I need content, right? And with today's world, they give us content everywhere. Everybody provides us content. Do I judge DMX for being a crackhead? No, crackheads in my family. You know, I'm sure that there's probably stories of people that ODing that I don't know about. You know, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that that's not the first person or the only person whose family members know someone that's dealing with that type of problem. My
Right.
thing is this: a lot of people ask me why was I so hard on DMX, and I'm like, all right, I'm not hard on DMX because DMX is a person, right? I'm
Right.
hard. I'm hard on opportunities and not realizing the opportunities in front of us.
Hmm.
I don't think that DMX even realized the full opportunities and full potentials in front of him. Somebody told me that I'm addicted to weed, and I don't want to argue the facts or nothing like that. Is it an addiction to weed? I don't know. But my rebuttal to him was I've never heard anybody OD on this. No one has. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, like someone didn't just this stuff weed can go in the backyard and we smoke it all the same. But we're talking about products and drugs that are like the hard stuff. Like I really don't like the hard stuff. I really don't like the fact that there's people in my family that does the hard stuff. Am I hard on them? Yes, because I want them to live.
But to his defense, he said he didn't choose the hard stuff. The hard stuff chose him.
That was what I saw, right? Now, I like to play devil's advocate a lot.
Hmm.
And in devil's advocate, I'm 14 years old. Someone introduces me to something. And at that point, I decide if I like it or not, right?
Hmm.
Now, maybe at 14, there's some power in you that you can't kick this.
Hmm.
But
You're
we talking about now. We talking
mhm.
about now 30, 30 and have reached success. 40 and have reached success. You know what I'm saying? So we're not talking about options of someone who doesn't have anything else but the rock or the corner. This is now, once you reach a certain level, you have to search out for a certain type of drug, right? I mean, yeah, crack will always be there, coke will always be there, weed will always be there. But what I'm saying is, um, on a lower level in lower tier neighborhoods in the communities that DMS grew up in, yes, they will be on crack. There will be crack, heroin, all types of dumb shit because that's low tier. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I tell my father, you know what I'm saying, because my father always talks about me smoking weed, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, you got to understand, certain people, the weed is not enough for them. Like, they want to get away. They want to escape. You know what I'm saying? And I always ask any crackhead, like, where is it that you look to escape to? You
I
know?
think I think it's the feeling of the high, like the feel. It's like, you know how some people gotta smoke to party or whatever. It's just a
Right.
good feeling. Like smoking weed is just a good feeling. To some people, crack, that feeling, that rush that they get from the crack, is just a good feeling. So no matter how successful I am, I can go without crack for maybe years, but that one day I might, man, just I just
But
want to have that one
you know
feeling,
what's
and it
you
draws
know
you
what's
back.
what a lot of people don't know is crack is chemically created to give you a high only the first time you have it.
Fuck.
Afterwards, afterwards,
Hell no.
not
Don't-
nah.
we
Like
not playing with you today.
crack is made only
Crack is
to
whack.
give you that feeling in the beginning, right? That's
Mhm.
why it's an addictive drug because it is chemically created to cause you to chase the dragon. So you never get that feeling again, and yet you chase it. You're trying to figure out why can't you get it? The drug is chemically created to make you chase the dragon. See what I'm saying? So if you see stars and feel like you're the man and Macho Man, you can punch the wall the first time. The reality of it is you never feel that way again, and you want to feel that way again. That's the last time you felt like a superstar, right? So now
Mhm.
in certain people position, like I don't understand it because you are a superstar. You are allowed to go and do and be free wherever you want to go. You
Mhm.
know, so I don't really understand how that works with the mental, and especially when you have choices. You know, DMX. It's funny that they say that DMX Masters had to be bought by Jay Z and Beyonce, but it's even more hilarious that DMX didn't own his own masters. Man,
Where
this has
one?
been a this has been an interesting topic on my show here, right? And for the last few weeks, I've been seeing a lot of artists talk about masters from Anita Baker, from
Mhm.
every indie artist in the world, and now to DMX Masters. And artists, here's what I want to say. I've been dying all week to say this to y'all. Stop falling for the smoke and the mirrors. Now, we all know that this is a game of millions, billions of dollars, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, have anybody asked themselves why we hearing the word masters all of a sudden? If this is supposed to be like the music industry's big secret and their big money cow and how they really making their money, why are we hearing it all of a sudden? Why is every artist so comfortable with using the word "I want to own my masses" and I don't own my? Hmm. Well, I think I said to you guys a couple of weeks ago that if order to own the masters, he has to pay for the masters. He
Right.
has to pay for the project, right? Now, let's just, an artist says to me, he signed a deal. And I said, congratulations. What type of deal? He says, major distribution deal. I said, oh, that's what's up. What's your advance? No advance.
Mhm.
Hmm. Well, what do they get? I don't really know yet. Really nothing. Really nothing. They just, I said, so what did you sign for? You know, he said,
Mhm.
well, I know one thing. I worked out in the deal. I own my masters. I said, okay, what are you gonna do with those? What does that mean? What do you plan on doing with that? I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, let's just keep it a buck. Why do artists? Let me ask y'all why. Let me answer the question: why artists want their masters all of a sudden? Because when they're done touring, when they're done being relevant, and them phone calls is coming in, and y'all watch those movies, and they got that little snip at the beginning of the movie, and it stops right before their verse start, or it's chopped up a little bit. It's like, wait, that's not how the verse go. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Uh, he should be coming back, y'all. Damn, it was just getting interesting too. Where's my phone?
All right, I know what that means. That means that I'm telling y'all too much.
Shit
that
got real just now. I was
that means
like, damn, we just
that
getting to
means
the
that,
juice.
that means that I'm telling y'all too much. But when y'all hear all them little snippets and snazzies and jazzies like that, well, all this 9 times out of 10 are not being hit up for these, right? Like after they done their work, they getting their tour money, but that upfront money, like that 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, they may not get that, right? They may have to wait for their money to come on the back end. All the while, there's a lot of people eating on the front end. So
Mm,
they want their masters. And they feel like they owe these masters because I made you billions of dollars. That's what they all say. I made you billions of dollars, and I've only made millions. And like they feel vindicated by that. But it's like my mama house. You know,
yeah.
yeah, she pays all the bills and everything when I was a kid. You
Mm,
know, but now I'm making money, and now I'm doing my own thing, and now
mm,
I'm grown. Do I just say now I own her house too? I mean, yeah, I grew up in here. She paid
mm,
all the bills. She did everything straight, but that was my room. That was
mm.
my room. I want to use it now, Mom. I want to sell it and rent it out and let. I want to start making money off of it. Why do you get to choose to do with that room? Well, my mama gonna probably tell me, "You don't get your tail out of here." She
Mm,
may smack me, but the reality of it is that's their house. They
mm,
built it. They made sure all the bills, none of the lights ever went off. You never went hungry. You know,
mm,
you always had. That's what my mama say to me. Did you ever go hungry? Did you
mm,
always have? You know, now you don't live here anymore. You don't get the benefits when you cook your own meal, because that's what like a lot of your artists ask. I want to be indie. That's what indie is. Now you have to go cook your own meal. Now when
mm,
electric bill come in, you got to pay that electric bill.
mm.
Now, when something breaks in the house, you got to go get it fixed in the house. Ain't no more mama. I need this, daddy. I need that.
Right.
My 19-year-old learned the harsh reality when he didn't want to be. He says to me, "Dad, I work now, so I don't have to do chores." I said, "Who the hell told you that?" I said, "Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. You got 2 weeks. You can either get along I'm going to do your own thing. Because in your house, you don't have to do chores. Because
Mhm.
in this house, you're going to do whatever I say do. He no longer lives here. He now lives wherever he lives.
Oh no, wait, you said he no longer lives there?
No,
Oh, he decided to do his own thing.
he wanted to be indie. He wanted to be
Okay.
indie. And I'm
Okay.
proud of him. I'm
Yes.
proud of him. And I'm like, this is what we like to hear, right? Our little butterflies get their wings and they flap away. Now, just like the label, can't come back here unless you're willing to play ball. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it works. That's how the real work. That's how the real world works. So all these
Yeah.
artists like, oh my masses. Okay, I don't know.
What you
Have
gonna
at
do?
it. But like, are you gonna pay for your sessions? And it's these people that say those masters are worth more than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't think people understand how masters work. Masters are not worth anything but what they cost to create. There is a weird misconception that artists, even major artists, make all of this magical money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be real with music money here, people. There is not a lot of music money. There is sponsorship money,
Mm-hmm.
endorsement money, show money, things like that. But people think, oh, someone says to me, I did over 2 million streams. Why not? And I'm like, well, 2 million streams ain't shit, bro. This niggas is doing 2 billion. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, but if if streams made them really any money, do you think any all artists would do nothing but streams? to sit down and get streams all day.
Yeah.
But that's just not how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, if Drake did nothing but got streams, he would be Drake. It's the fact that Sony, I mean, it's the fact that Apple said, shit, I like it. I want to give him 25 million. Now
Mm-hmm.
he's moving. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I like Cash Money said, I like the way he's moving. Let me give him moving. You
Mm-hmm.
know, X, Y, Z, taking care of those little pieces, those little things that make you get what you need to get. So it's kind of interesting to me that everyone is on this masters and things like that.
But
Now,
not want to own their masters. I mean, like, should
well,
depending on what they're gonna do with it.
the, the thing about ownership is scary. You know what I'm saying? Like this: if if a person makes you 25 million, or if a person makes you a million with it, in your
Mm-hmm.
mind, naturally, you're thinking, well, damn, I can make 2 million with it, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now, yeah, when you get to the point where it's your phone ringing off the hook and not the labels, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then, yeah, you should own your masters. But what I'm saying is, owning them is not the problem. When you're that big of the stuff, and you're that big of a star, or you're in that much control of your career, you should have already bought them.
But what if shit? Yeah, shit's getting too real. Shit is getting too real. Hold on, y'all. Let's see it. Mm-hmm. Chef Tony. I don't know why they keep kicking them off, y'all. Hold on.
This is getting weird. Hey, I don't know what's going
Yes.
on.
Okay, so before you
It's a
was done
little
with
windy outside, but that's about it. But like, yeah,
I
if you
was
already
question. What if they have the money that they think is enough to buy their masters, but now the label is makes it kind of impossible for you to own it?
see, that's
And
the thing. Like, that's the thing, right? That's why I say if you already on top of your business, you already know the books, you know the ledgers, right? So nothing can come outside of that ledger. If every label has to keep a ledger, everybody knows this. Every label has to keep records. You have to keep records of your stuff. So you're going to your label and you'll say, I need to see the ledger for if you've done one album and now you want the master to that album or you want the master to your whole catalog. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
It'll be let's say your first album was Money on Your Mind, your second album was Life the Richest, your third album was Fame, right? They're gonna say, all right, this is how much it went into making. Like, this first album was maybe 100,000. All right, this second album was maybe 300,000. The third
mm,
album where you got a million. You know what I'm saying? So now we're already talking about 1.5 million right there. Let's say 2 million that we're talking about. So now they're gonna look at, okay, it took 2 million to make this album, and let's say that this contract was a 5 year contract. In these 5 years, this album may have made these albums may have made 2 million a year for the label, or 3 million a year for the label, right? So they
mm,
look at it like, all right, now this artist has made me 15 million. So now you're gonna ask this label, you want your masters, the numbers are right there that it's made them 15 million. So you know that right now you're in order to buy this, that's the starting number. You know,
mm,
now is there the room for negotiation is up to the owner. You know what I'm saying? Like
mm,
it's up to the owner to negotiate that. But that's why a lot of artists, when you we look at the real big artists, when they leave a label, they out there performing old records.
mm,
They get in the studio with the new team and they start
mm,
pushing them new records with
mm.
their clout. and their own masters, their own records, right? So now
Right.
it's like, hey, I'm gonna still get paid for these old records. They can have all the masters to those, but I'm here over here now with the records that I own, with the masters that I own, and I'm
Mm,
building up that brand, right? And that's
right.
how that works. Artists that sit and fight, artists that fight for their masters, be done after they fight. You know why? Because
Why?
the legal battles that go into it drain you with money. You know what I'm saying? If you eventually do get your masters, at that point, your value has depreciated. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Because you spent years fighting for your masters, and since you're fighting for your masters, you're not working.
Mm-hmm.
The label has already replaced you and created another you. And by the time you own your masters, it's 5, 10 years down the road. Then now you finally own your masters. You old out of the game. Now you're just doing commercials, and you up there go chocolate. You know, I mean, Taylor
Hey, I
Swift.
like that commercial.
I love that commercial too, but I wish that they knew. You know what I'm saying? They just figuring out ways to just keep making money. You know what I'm saying? But I bet they wish that they were still torn with the labels. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people act like the labels is just this bad, this big evil playground. No, it's a circus. It's a cycle. And let
Mm-hmm.
me see, Taylor Swift. The crazy part about Taylor Swift is she didn't own none of her stuff, and it didn't matter to Taylor Swift until her friends owned it. You see what I'm saying? It's like ho, the label can own me, but I don't want my friends to now own me. I'm better than them because this label is making me a god. But now my friend bought me. Now I'm making him a god. And you know what he did? He did the right thing. I want $350,000 million. I want $350 million. Taylor Swift ain't got that kind of money, but her catalog is worth that type of money, right? Because like I said, a catalog is not about he
Oh,
and and see and when people say that, okay, and I probably will get in trouble for saying this, but y'all know I love the world. But when people say owning the catalog, it's more than just masters involved with that. There's publishing, you know what I'm saying? There's probably some distribution money that comes along with that. So and there's all types of bonuses that comes along with that. So it's like if a person owns my catalog, they own my publishing to that catalog. They probably own my publisher admin to that joint, all
mm-hmm.
types of crap, right? So now that is a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show, right? That's a real tricky conversation and a real tricky topic because a lot of people don't even understand that, and that will go over a lot of people's head. You know what I'm saying? But these
Yeah.
record labels are in position to put us in position to do what we need to do, and those that learn the business from the labels are able to function as one. Those who don't end up getting used by them. But at the end of the day, you you have to pay to play. Artists pay to play, everybody. And I'm not. And I know everybody hate this word budget, but artists pay to play. Whatever that artist gets signed for, whatever that artist, every artist broadcasts how much their signing bonus is, so that they are letting you know what their budget is. You know, they're not telling you I signed for 200,000. I signed for 200,000 for nothing. They're letting you know that now they're in the 200,000 club. They're letting the industry know that if
Mm-hmm.
you're a producer out there and you're in the 200,000 club, we can work. Now we can work together. You know what I'm saying? That's why they broadcast that. Because, like I tell everybody, J. Cole told a story about when he signed his deal with Rock Nation, and he was super excited. And he walked down to the studio and met with Kanye West. And Kanye West asked him, "How much did you sign for?" J. Cole told him $100,000, and Kanye West said, "This is the $2 million studio." So J.
Hold on.
Cole didn't get the record.
Really?
Yes, and when you think about games like that, it's exact. Listen, anything that has the word industry behind it is is exactly the same. It's just like the food industry. It's just like the clothing industry. You don't think that Mr. Wendy's and Mr. McDonald's have these same battles when they were indie, when they were just one McDonald's store and it was one Wendy's? You don't think they had the same battle trying to come up with the I want to make a Big Mac. Oh, I want to make a double triple stacker. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta try to figure out business. We gotta get big. We gotta get popping. The same. Every industry has the same thing. Mr. Walmart, Mr. Kmart, they all have the same problem, right? The
Mm-hmm.
problem with artists, and that's any artist, whether it be actor, actress, painter, or you know what I'm saying. We're selling ourselves,
Mm.
right?
Right.
So now we have to figure out how can I make myself. Oh, that artist just put out a Big Mac. How can I put out a triple stacker? That artist just franchised. Now he's in 3 different states. How can I get in 5 different states? You know, it's like a big competition. Because if you all look at yourself like a big burger that has to be sold, then you'll understand how this game works. And of course, there's workers in that that
Mm-hmm.
have to be paid. McDonald's don't make their own commercials. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no one that works for McDonald's in the commercial department. There's someone in McDonald's that works in the marketing department. Now,
That's a whole
Tony,
nother topic right there
I
that
saw
I want to
I
know
saw
how.
Kid Cudi. I saw Kid Cudi in that dress.
What is that? Is that for shock value? Because for me, I just think it's for shock value. Is that really what it is? Is that what it is? Because I don't know
No,
anything about Kid Cudi.
apparently Kurt Cobain wore a dress while he performed, and people are saying that this is a tribute to Kurt Cobain. Now, I'm going to let everyone know I have a huge problem with that. And if that was a tribute to Kurt Cobain, he would do a Kurt Cobain song, you know. So I'm not going to touch that
What
subject.
happened to Kurt Cobain's?
Kurt Cobain actually blew his brains out.
When?
He was a singer with Nirvana, the rock group Nirvana. He did this in like the 80s, I think.
Oh, I thought you was talking about the Texas rapper Kurt Cobain.
No, that's the guy with the drink in my cup.
Got that drink in
Yeah,
my cup.
that name he took from the actual rock star Kurt Cobain.
Okay.
Yeah, but he spells his Kirk, but the real Kurt Cobain is not spelled like that. It's Kurt, like
So he wore
K.
the dress as a tribute.
Yes, apparently, allegedly, but I don't know. You know, I don't know why he wore it. I don't even think it's even a topic of why he wore it. I don't want to talk about Kid Cudi wearing a dress because I don't want to talk about Kid Cudi. He's not even a relevant artist right now, right? And I don't talk about artists like that, huh?
I said shock value.
Yeah,
It got
yeah,
us talking about him when we don't. He's like if he's not really on your radar, it's kind of like all right now. It's like okay, you did this for shock value. You got what you. I guess if that's why he did it.
yeah. I mean, like, it's interesting, right? Because it brings me to my next topic, right, Jezebel? The
Mm-hmm.
evolution of music. Now, I call it rappers are very scary these days, right? And in their mind, if I can just rap, if I can just sing, stay safe, then why not do that, right? Hold on one
Yeah.
second. So when I look at artists and I see that they are doing things like wearing dresses
Mm-hmm.
and um, doing a lot of weird stuff, like weird stuff. I know what's going on, right? A
What
lot
like
of
get
artists,
diamond in your head?
yeah, yeah, like see, like to me, that's not weird, right? That's over the top. That's called extravagant, extreme, right? That's real life and attention junkie, right? But the over the top stuff is sliding down the devil and dresses and wearing dresses. And I seen one rapper with his nails done. You know, they doing the feminine stuff, like turning into women, trying to do what the women are doing, and then the women are doing what they're doing. Because see, the women are safe, right? The women are safe regardless. They ain't got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
They gonna sit up there and if they rap gangster, nobody gonna challenge them because they women. And if they rap subtle or soft, they gonna love them because they women. But
Mm-hmm.
these men now, niggas getting their heads hit off,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, like real hardcore rappers are getting killed in broad daylight. Well, I'm sorry, hardcore lyrical rappers, I should say. Because we do know that none of them are really hardcore rappers. This is the evolution of music,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where marketing has become more important than talent.
Mm-hmm.
So we ask ourselves in our own communities, who is safe? Who's the only person that, if there's a big bully in the hood, who's the only person that he bet not touch? The gay guy, the weird kid, you know, the slow kid, the weird kid, and the gay guy, right? So now you got all these artists that just seemingly we're targets. Our rappers are targets, if not
Mm-hmm.
to the media, if not to your family, if not to the legal system, if not to just anybody looking to catch a fast break real quick. Once you become an artist and an own entity, and definitely a rapper, probably a singer, but definitely a rapper, you become a target. You know what I'm saying? So how do you alleviate less things coming at you at one time? You change and you follow real life.
But you see, I mean, trap rappers or rappers that rap that stuff, I mean, they have more things to worry about it than I would say, than like a Logic or, you know, someone
Correct.
that like so why are so if there's no pressure applied to those artists like Lil Nas X and well, you say he's not a rapper, but I can't even
There
think
will
of it.
be
I
there
don't
will be
listen.
no pressure. There will be no pressure to any rapper who identifies as a pop star or rock star.
Okay, so
There
then
will
why are
be.
they? Oh, I don't
Why do they transition like that? Go
know.
wild and weird
I, yeah, I'm just confused.
because that keeps you safe. If you pick on the guy with nails, you look like a bully, and you look like a punk yourself. You look less intimidating. Like and like Young Thug says openly, "I'm not gay. I'm not none of this. This is all just for marketing. Like I don't dress like this in real life, you know." And that's what he approaches, how he approaches life. But yeah, he passes that off and got people in dresses and skirts and things like that. And he even says things like, "No, it's an Asian outfit," trying to be funny, you know, it's a samurai outfit. You know what I mean? They're like, "Oh, no, it's a skirt, bro. No, they wear it in Asia. That's what they do, you know." Because he knows his normal fans ain't been to Asia, right? It's like we can't argue it. If we see a man in Asia, we like, oh damn, Thug been to Asia, that's lit. He's following Asian culture. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's safety because the police ain't looking at a little Nas X to shoot him. You know what I'm saying? The Bloods and the Crips probably don't call Lil Nas X to make him check in. I mean, they maybe do, but they ain't about to broadcast it. Like this is a lot of things that just don't happen to them. You know, so when Kid Cudi throws on the dress, it's obvious that he said he's, whatever. He's trying to make himself back popular and relevant, but he doesn't want to be perceived as a threat. And any artist that I got like that is letting us know I don't want to be perceived as a threat. I want a nice long career. I want to make music. it's unfortunate what happened to Excess Tentacion. You know, it's unfortunate because I mean, like he's probably one of the best marketing geniuses of this young new generation.
Mhm.
I mean, his whole makeup was off of a lie that everyone knew was a lie around him, but the internet couldn't go crazy trying to dispel it, to trying to prove it's a lie,
What
right?
lie? Because I don't know anything
So
about too much
Excess
about.
Tentacion, when he was coming up in Florida, he was doing his shows. He wasn't making any headway. He wasn't getting any feedback. Nobody really paying him any attention. He was doing real hardcore rap, right?
Uh huh.
And he ended up catching a charge and having to go on house arrest. So through this time while he was on house arrest, he asked himself, how can I go viral? So he decided to get on his Instagram and scream and cry and complain. Drake stole my song. Now, what he did was cause the whole world to go and listen to his song and then go and listen to Drake's song. Because they all wanted to know, did Drake steal this kid from Florida on house arrest song? No, he didn't. But because it was a big thing on Instagram and social media, the whole world had to look. We had to dispel this.
Mhm.
So it's amazing. Everyone, I want y'all to understand what it did for Excess Tentacion. He went from doing no shows in Florida for a whole time he was on house arrest. And while he was off house arrest, before he was on house arrest, he was making no money at all, just doing shows at clubs. Once he got off house arrest, he went from making no money a show to $1,200 a show, which led him to obviously landing his deal with Live Nation, which eventually led to him landing his Mayfield, right? Because he's proved himself. It's like, all right, he got all the eyes on him.
On
So
him. Mhm.
I say, man, like I posted on my Facebook what's more important, marketing or talent, and a lot of people understood marketing is more important, right? We're not
Yeah.
talking about 1950 when but even still, right, even still, people, I want y'all to understand, like when I'm talking and like I'm not talking about the now and just the now. I'm talking about how it's always been from day one. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do y'all think that they didn't let Chuck Berry sing his first song and they let a white man sing it? And I want anybody out here to say it's because the white guy was better and then come bring your face to me so I can smack it. Because we know that it wasn't because the white guy was better. It's because the white guy could be marketed in the 50s.
Yeah.
I mean, like, come on, people. What are we doing? Why do we think that our music was considered underground and their music was always mainstream? Because they can market it.
Yeah. They can
It's
sell it.
always been whoever has the best marketing. Why do you think the Jacksons was so big? Because their dad marketed their ass off for them kids all the way until they got the ABC. You know, he never stopped marketing for them kids.
Mhm.
Why do you think all the Ball brothers are in the NBA? Because their daddy never stopped marketing for them. You know, like it's we. How many times have y'all heard of a superstar and then it'd be like, oh yeah, their brother, but their brother or their sister, they got siblings. You like, oh, they got siblings? Well, guess
Mhm.
what, guys? The family did not market them siblings. That's why you don't know about them.
Yeah.
They only marketed the money.
Mhm.
That's how the game works. So why the evolution? Why has the evolution of the game changed? Shall we say? Why is it um less less like super major talent that like captivates you? We say, well, the one thing that you old guys still have not learned, the one thing that you rappers out there that talk about you ready to retire and that the game ain't treating you right. The one thing that y'all haven't learned. It's the one thing that you rappers still searching for a record deal and out the junk complaining that no one is showing you any love and support. Haven't learned is marketing. And these youngins, they know it off the break, right?
Yep.
They drop a YouTube video with just their niggas in their hood, all 100 of them, and that video is through the roof.
Yep.
And everybody in that video is definitely sharing that video. You
Mhm.
know, that's already getting at least 100 shares right there. We had like why, like we asked why these youngins all making the same video. Well, they realize it works. If I put all 20 of my whole hood in the video, my whole hood's gonna watch it. My whole hood's gonna share it. And if they all do that, then that's millions of views. And I win, right? But
Right.
y'all want to get on Facebook. Y'all want to not tell you nobody about your video shoot. Not invite nobody to your video shoot. Shoot it in the woods by yourself. Shoot it in the hood by yourself. And then you don't do any promotion, any marketing, anything. And I want you artists before y'all say I post all my video shoots online. Post it on your story, video shoot at 2 o'clock. DM me for location. It's not. It's not. It's
Yeah.
not a video shoot. Okay, like, stop it. That's like the biggest thing I'm tired of seeing. Like, bro, how long have you been planning this video shoot? Did you just plan at 2 o'clock to shoot at 4? No, let us know. Put out some ads 2 weeks late, early. It's something to get some people involved. But
Yes.
y'all don't do that. I mean, I mean, listen, look. I know. Listen, look. I'm telling y'all right here. I don't complain about a lot of things that y'all complain about, right? But
Mhm.
some of the things that I do see that we do have a right to complain about, y'all don't even complain about that stuff. Like I could I could see if y'all was complaining about like some not getting on like not putting together bigger concerts. You know what I'm saying? I can see if y'all was complaining about not traveling. You know what I'm saying? Not hitting the road more. Like, cause then y'all can fix those things. Like y'all can fix those. Like who all want to go on the road? Let's
Yeah.
all pitch in and go together. Who all want to do this? Let's all pitch in and do this together, right?
Right.
We remember with DMX, they did that tour and the first tour with Jay Z and then with Rockefeller, Rough Riders, and like all these different rap groups together and shit.
Mhm.
Um, that's how it happens. Like a lot of y'all sets don't get together and go on tour
Yeah.
and hit the road, you know. But those are the things y'all complain about. Y'all not complaining about why y'all not working together. Why y'all not? Why don't we hear more collabs? I mean, down here in Atlanta, I'd have probably collabed with like 8 artists since I've been here, right? Since I was home, I don't know how many artists I'd have collabed with when I was at home, you know. Now, I do gotta say, y'all, I know y'all see me with the show today,
Is that
and
sex?
this is a Sixxcess shirt.
Yeah.
I got mine in the mail today, and I'm feeling like $1 million. I don't know where I need to go. I feel like I need to go somewhere with this shirt on, but
Yeah.
I feel it. So anybody out there looking right now, y'all go ahead over to Sex Sales Clothing and get y'all some cool merch, right? Hey, y'all heard it here. So,
Yes.
but I'm trying to tell you, Jezebel, the game is wild, right? It's all about marketing. It's all about marketing now, and it always has been about marketing. It's just now that it's now shame on you. Let me see if you can see my face. It's now shame on you, right? It's now shame on you if you're not marketing yourself and promoting yourself. It's now
Right.
shame on you if you're still waiting for some magical Anna to be sitting in your club and pick you up and sign you and take you away off your feet, sweep you off your feet. And it's now shame on you if you're complaining about the ladies winning the game right now. Because we know why the ladies is winning the game, don't we? Bro, niggas don't deserve kitty. And I'm gonna tell y'all why that's an interesting topic because what she's letting you all know why the women are winning. because a lot of you guys are acting broke right now,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to stop that, especially with your career. You know,
Yep.
like
Feel that.
I had an artist, ask me, yo, what do I pay to marketing teams and what do I pay to promote my stuff and things like that? And I was like, well, that depends. Some sometimes thousands, you know. Some payments never end, you know. Some
Yeah.
some things are just like keeping stock. That's what it is called, like keeping stock. Some things never end. Some it's like my rent in my house. I have to pay that every month in order to
Yeah.
live. And there's other things in my career that I have to pay every month in order to live. You know, and with those things, those investments they produce over time. Now, the reality of it is, a lot of you artists don't even understand. Just performing is building your stock. And I accrue all you artists that like out there. I keep telling y'all this. Do shows, get on the road, but don't just do any show, right? Don't do that show with your man, joint. Don't do that show at your man's house. You know, don't do that show not for free, not for free. Like if you want to do those shows, they have to come. Those are called upfront cash shows, right? You ask your friend if he asks you, eh, you want to come to my cookout and perform. I mean, if you think you need that type of exposure, then be my guest. But I'm gonna tell you like this: if your friends and family want to see you perform, make them buy a ticket, right? Or pay you for your job, your talent, right? But I'm talking about finding yourself real, legitimate venues that are registered and that are paying for licensed things to be listening to your music and to have you in there. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm gonna give y'all all a gem because this is one venue that does it really well in the DMV area. Red Lounge. Everyone asks me, I can say, why you go to Red Lounge? It's a hole in the wall. It's dead, dead. Well, first of all, Red Lounge was not dead. You know. Second of all, it's not a hole in the wall. It has two levels, and most of the time, one of the levels is lit, if not both, right? But most of the time, one of them is going to be lit. Plus, Waffle and Bar are really fucking cool. And
Yeah.
Bo, shout out to Bo because Bo has been one of the realest niggas since I ever met him, right? And I
Yeah.
don't want to call him one of the realest niggas. He's one of the realest brothers I've ever met since I met him, right? And let me tell y'all a funny story about when I first met Bo. I first met Bo, I walked into a show. I swear everybody had like 150, 200 people in the show. Now, I'm walking around and I'm literally just bumping everybody because I'm in the show like a tourist. I'm like this. I've never been to Red Lounge before, right? And I was immediately blown away because of the crowd in there. It was a rally show, and Bo could tell that I was new and out of place. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Because it was really packed in there. And I was by myself, and everybody else was mobbed up to set it up. And he says, "What's good? Like, what you doing here?" And I'm like, "Well, I was trying to perform, but there's too many people in here. I don't think I need to get on the list." He said, "I'm not going to hold you, bruh. What you do?" So I started telling them about, the showcases that I was doing at the concerts and things that I was putting together. And he says, well, I'm the man you really need to talk to. Let's do Monday nights. He didn't even know me from anywhere. My word was just all he had. He said, let's do Monday nights. The very first Monday night, not one person showed up. It was just me and Bo. And I was for sure that my goose was cooked because I had just spent a lot of time capping and letting him know how, important I was. Now, the thing is, I was important, but I was only doing community center shows. So, Red Lounge was the first time I was really doing club shows. That
Oh.
means 21 and over, right? Everything else is like any age, all ages. All my kids got friends, all my friends got kids. It was always a perfect scenario. You do it at the rec center, you offer the rec center all the proceeds, they just give you like a small percentage, you know what I'm saying? And they're gonna do all the promotion. They're gonna tell all the kids at every school, every nook and cranny to come out. As long as you can secure your performance with them kids, you are golden. And I'm pretty good on stage. That was one of my blessings. I was blessed with talent on stage. So that was easy. But adults was a different world. That was my first time learning that your friends don't give a shit about you. You can tell them all week, all month about your dang on show. They ain't gonna show. You know?
Mhm.
They just don't give a shit. So that was a harsh reality for me. But after the show, let me tell y'all what Bo said to me. And this was where it gets really interesting. He said, well, we'll get them next week. And I said, next week? Again? He said, yeah, we're going to do it again. I said, all right. Next week, one artist showed up. One artist. She did her thing. That was Lover. That was Lover. It was
Uh-huh.
me, Lover, and Bo. She did her thing. After that, we stayed there till like 1 o'clock in the morning. 1 o'clock came up. Bo came to me and said, well, it's going to get better. We get them next week. At that point, I had became a promoter for Red Lounge and didn't know it. Now, Bo, bless his heart, because it took me a month of Monday, and I never got anybody in there on those Mondays. Bo said, let's go to a Wednesday. We went to a Wednesday, it started getting a little better. You know, then we did Wednesdays for about a year straight, and then we went back to Mondays, and before we knew it, we was doing a lot better than what we were, right?
Oh,
So shout out to Bo, you know that dude right there, Lawless Relentless Gang, man, they doing their thing. If y'all
mhm.
get a chance, go listen to Lover music and
Yeah.
check her out. Lover All Wild, oh yeah, Doe on the IG. That was a good moment right there. So that was actually the first artist to perform at one of my shows.
Okay. Yeah, I fucks with
Yeah,
Love and Music and definitely fuck with both. So yeah, he good peoples. Damn six. He said, we'll get him
well,
again next Monday. That's the
yeah, like it was like I was like, all right, like coming home with no money. You know,
spirit.
no money, just doing it for the love. Like, and like I tell a lot of people, like a lot of people don't understand. Like me, I love music. I love putting together shows. I love moderating and curating events. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's crazy because I would do it for nobody. Now, I was brought up a different way because I didn't start doing music like as a little kid. I didn't start doing music until I was 23, maybe 24, years old. And even then, I spent more time as learning the business and learning the industry, but still not really paying attention because I was one of those artists, or should I say people, that was riding the magical unicorn, thinking that, oh, someone sees you're talented and they sweep you off into a land and sign a contract and you're the next best thing. And honestly, I
That's
spent
not how it
about,
works.
no man, I spent 7 years in La La Land thinking that.
Mm.
And those 7 years are crucial to an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like the learning curve is crucial to an artist. And that's why it's recommended that an artist starts in the game at about 7 years old.
Uh,
And a lot of
what?
people don't understand that it's recommended that an artist starts in the game at 7 years old.
Okay. Why so young?
Well, at that age, you can still dream, you can still imagine. At that age, you're still able to be molded. As you grow, you're still patient. By the time you hit 17, it takes about 10 years to mature in the music business, to
Mm-hmm.
mature to the point where you can be self sufficient,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak, right? And the reality of it is, a lot of people look at being self sufficient like having multi millions of dollars, right? But no, that's just being able to pay your bills. Living
Right.
check, if you check the checking it, it's just still off music. They call those like starting artists or whatever, struggling artists, right? But those are the artists that maybe make about 5, 10K, 20K a year, right? But let's just look at the logistics here. Because I like to do this. I like to do this. I was working at a job. I was making $12 an hour, and that ended up coming up to being $24,000 a year. Right
Mhm.
now, after doing that math, I realized that I was bringing in about, let's just say, let's just put a round number on it, about 30,000 a year in music. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, of course, until you put stuff on paper and start looking at things logistically, you don't understand, right?
Right.
So I'm looking at my paychecks. I'm like, okay, I know that this is going to be 400 every other week, right? I know what my checks are going to be. But then you look at your music and it's like, all right, I get paid every other month, you know? So it's like, all right, every other month I may bring in 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, whatever the case may be. And then it's like, I went to work and I made 1,200, another 1,200, that's 2,400. But then I get my music check and that's 3,000. So I'm like, oh man. Now, what did I spend most of my time doing? At work, doing a few shows, right? The reality of it is, what if I had done more shows instead of being at work?
Yeah.
Now, would I have made 6,000? You know what I'm saying? Would I have made 10,000? These are the things that we ask. Now, and the panic that we all have: how am I pay my bills? How am I pay my rent? How am I pay my mortgage? Well, again, look at the math. You paying $1,500 a month. $1,500 a month. You're paying roughly $25,000 a year. So if you've made 30K a year off of your music of just working, that's your house. You know.
Yeah. That's true.
Now, a lot of people don't think like these. Don't think these logics. Don't think these theories too. Now, and we're talking about just performing. We're not even talking about. I'm not even talking about. I'm talking about just performing, just hitting the show Monday through Sunday every night, being at a different club. That's registered and licensed. You know, so that's the difference. So if my home is about 25,000 and I done made 30,000, all right, I've cleared 5,000 for the year. But then there is deals and there's things like that. So now that's where my distribution kicks in, and my other things that I'm doing, because there's other shows and there's other entities up in the music industry that you do. There's sponsorships. There's I mean, look, I wear clothes. You know, like a lot of clothing lines send me stuff, and I'm blessed that they send me stuff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people pay me to market their stuff, pay me to promote their stuff, pay me to just say their name, shit like that, and that's pretty dope, right? But like, that's a platform that all artists can build for themselves. I'm not telling any artist to be on the radio. I'm on the radio. It's my thing. You gotta do your own thing, right? I'm telling you that we have to, as artists, figure out ways to push our brand every second that we get, you know, because that's how we make money. So why is the new game better than the old game, or is the new game better than the old game?
Or has the game always been the same?
Hey, like what's crazy is I think that's the probably the most correct answer. The game has always been the same. It's just technology has changed. You know,
Yeah.
the 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 where they used to get a shiny nickel back in the 50s and be happy with that nickel. Now it's a shiny 100 because
Hmm.
currency has changed. You know,
Right.
but at the end of the day, I ask them, dang, if all these artists are struggling and all these artists are not selling and all these artists are saying that they're not making no money, why their house is bigger than mine? Why we don't see why we haven't seen not one of them at work, not one of them hit the stage, not one of them do anything. So we start so artists that share those stories, you gotta ask yourself, what is no money? What is really no money? What does it really mean when they say they're not making any money?
The type of money that they expect to make.
or the type of money they're accustomed to,
Yeah.
you know. And if you don't work anymore, look, I don't know how retirement works, right? Because in this game we don't get no pension. But I would like for somebody to tell me in retirement, when you retire, do they give you the exact same check that you've been getting for the rest of your life, or is there a percentage of what you were getting that you get
A
for the rest of
percentage.
your life?
It's a percentage, ain't it?
Yeah, and I've heard that there's some people say that their retirement can run out. They run out of money. They run out of retirement money. They don't have enough money to retire for the rest of their life.
How can you run out of uh how do you run out of retirement? You live too long? Like what the fuck?
I mean,
Like
it doesn't. I mean, like the thing about it is what they give you. We don't know, but if I think like this, if a person that's only made 25,000, $30,000 their whole life, how much can they really have in retirement? Can they have more in retirement than they made their whole life working?
okay, I get
So
it.
when we look at the music industry, it's like, why do we expect it to be some other magical unicorn that's different than the world that we live in, right?
Hmm.
I look at art, I'm like, man, there's one artist that says to me, and I know he doesn't mean any malicious by it, but he says, I'm never going to sign a deal. That's just dumb. And I said, yeah, you got $200,000 a single, not an album, a single. No, I said I know because if you did, you'd be under investigation because they don't let you. Like, look, they're not gonna let you get 200,000 a single without an investigation because they're not gonna let you play in their game. Let me tell y'all a funny. Let me tell y'all about this interesting, funny conversation that I had over the weekend that really made my day. Right now, I was sitting around with some real big producers, right? And we were just I thought we was gonna record. I thought we were gonna record, but we didn't do any recording. Now that's not realized like I'm a big fish. I'm a big fish, but
Hmm.
they are like whales. I don't want to call them sharks yet, because they're not sharks. They like whales. They really big fish, right? So I'm sitting around them and we're all talking and another artist walks in and he's like really big on the scene, right? And I'm not gonna be name dropping on my show, but what I am gonna do is tell the story. And he says, Yo, what up, Six? Now that was amazing, right? Because I'm like, okay, cool. He knows me. I'm like, cool for that. You know? So one of the other producers go, wait, what's your name on Facebook? And I tell them my name, and they're like, oh, okay. So then we're like, we've been paying you attention. We've been watching you. We've been seeing you cutting up in your antics. And I'm like, ain't that something? So you never know who's watching you.
Hmm.
You never know who's watching you. You know what? Like, no, it's not killer whales or killer sharks. It's killer dolphins. Nothing is worse than dolphins. They are the worst. They travel in packs and they are vicious killers. So when y'all like that joke, giving the shark a bad name, don't keep giving the shark a bad name. And they need to take that name off killer whale because they only kill fishies. But wet dolphins are the worst. I will never swim with a dolphin. Nah, nope, nope. Trolling. Oh, listen, let me tell you something. Trolling has become the new like way to talk. If you ain't trolling, you might as well be scrolling. You might as well keep scrolling. Jezebel, you opened up. You knew this was coming. You knew this was coming when you finally broke out of your poster shell and left a comment on one of my statuses.
Yeah.
Now we got to talk about it. I posted IHOP versus Waffle House.
Waffle House all day, okay?
Listen,
Waffle
I'm gonna
House
go
all
ahead. I'm gonna let you say your piece for Waffle House, and then I'm gonna end it and destroy Waffle House. You
Okay.
why Waffle House over IHOP,
I
the
like Waffle House
international
'cause
house
they
of
use real
pancakes?
they use real eggs. You can actually watch them cook your food. You have an option of like good grits and their home fries. I like to get mine with cheese and onions and shit like that. When I was eating pork ham. So like I don't know. That's pretty much it. Oh, they got raisin toast and fucking apple butter. Like, oh my gosh. So
Man,
yeah.
listen. Apple butter, mutter, schmutter. Apple butter is good. I'm not gonna lie. That's good. But as far as watching them cook, first of all, I've never ever sat in a good seat to watch the chef cook, and I'm always in the middle of a conversation, right? But let's just talk about all the great things at the International House of
Fake
Pancakes.
eggs. They give you fake
First
eggs,
of all,
fake.
let's say allegedly, on the fake eggs because I don't
No,
know
you
if that's
have
true.
to request real eggs. I eat IHOP. I have to tell them, can I get real eggs, please? Can I get shell eggs? Then they give me real eggs, and you could tell the
As
difference.
opposed, as opposed to the eggs that is already mixed and prepared.
The eggs that come in a carton that you don't know what the fuck is in it.
Yes, I get you. I get you.
Uh huh.
Okay. But let's just go ahead and let's talk about all the many blessings of the International House of Pancakes. Everyone around the world can enjoy the International House of Pancakes. That's first.
That's the only reason why it's better.
Please, please remove his comment off the screen. Success has never success has never ran off on a bill at IHOP. However, success has went to at least two IHOPs that people have recognized me as success. So that's a win for IHOP. Hold on one second. Yeah, this
I just I
IHOP is around the world. IHOP sells real waffles and not a pancake waffle that is too greasy and not delicious at all. And it looks like it's wheat. It looks like a wheat waffle. I have
del-
never seen a wheat waffle.
delicious.
Secondly, secondly, social media has not been well to the Waffle House. First of all, Waffle Houses are known to fail their health inspections. We've seen a lot of them get these and then having to go into what they call cleanup mode, and that's nasty. Secondly, Waffle House, if I click on Waffle House on social media, I will find footage of a fight in Waffle House, a shootout in Waffle House, or some type of brawl, just all out brawl in Waffle House.
I would
Now,
not.
Waffle House is almost as worse as Denny's, but it's not. Denny's is worse. But Waffle House is trash. And the reason why you know that it's trash is because it's only in the South. Any place that will not go up north, they know better. Because see, in the north is a thing that we call LSA Qua. You know, it's a certain type of LSA Qua that you have to have to be in north. And Waffle House lacks it. You know, we don't like little short buildings. We don't like greasy white tees. You know what I think about when I think of Waffle House? You have never seen the movie Legion.
No.
In that movie, there's an old diner. There's a cook who shirt is dingy. He likes to dig up his nose and do nasty things while he cooks. He kills the bugs with a spatula and then flips the pancakes and whatnot. I imagine it happens at Waffle Houses all
Hell
the
no.
way around. I believe that whoever cooks, everyone that cooks at Waffle House scratches their butt.
Probably in the bathroom.
So Waffle House is on my list of restaurants that I do not go to. We
But
was
you
the
don't know
last
what
time,
put your food in the back at IHOP because you can't see the shit. At least at
but I
Waffle House,
trust.
you can see what the fuck they doing and
I
what the
trust.
fuck they cook. And
If
when
I
I
want my food, if I want my food cooked in front of me, I go to Benihana's or Kobe's. Oh, I trust IHOP. It's international. It's
I have.
international.
Hey, I mean their pancakes, they have the best pancakes. That's what I will say about AHA. But as far as like when I don't eat pancakes and I'm just going for eggs, meat, and some potatoes, you're not AHA.
Well,
Waffle House. And
IHOP
Waffle
it is.
House cheaper. And they give you real eggs. Like,
And
oh my
IHOP,
god.
if
No.
IHOP, if y'all want to, you know, do a special success meal, I would definitely like that. If y'all are looking, I would like a success meal. That would be fresh toast, um, links, uh, corned beef hash, eggs, and other stuff.
I mean that sounds good.
Sounds delicious, and only IHOP can make it. Waffle House can't.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Waffle House is specifically for specific items. Like you go there and you know what you want. You're going there
Yes.
for anything
Yeah,
else. Yeah, go to Denny's.
yeah.
So,
The last time I went to Waffle House, I actually pulled over by the police. So that's another strike for Waffle House. They just
oh,
pulled me
I
over,
forgot
told me
to
on the
tell
Waffle
you.
House.
I forgot to tell you that Crystals is not closing. Well,
Christmas
they're
is
trying not
not
to.
closing.
They're trying not to close. They're trying to get funding, some type of money to keep them open.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All
they're
right.
open to the end of this month.
Well, you know what? If they wouldn't have banned me for life, I would send them something. But I'm still banned. Now, let's. Did you know that they're giving DMX a street named after him in his hometown in
A street,
Yonkers?
a street named after. What is it going to be called? Earl Simmons Drive.
Well, that would be interesting, but I would really like it to be called DMX Road.
DMX.
Or Dim. Now, would Boulevard be more cooler?
With what?
Would DMX Boulevard be more cooler?
Mm, DMX Ave, DMX Boulevard,
Do you
DMX.
think that they're going to give DMX a renovated street or a broken down street?
I think it should be where. I mean, it's where he's from, right? So it should
Like
be.
I'm so stupid, young, and I can't. I know I shouldn't say this, young. I know I shouldn't say this, young. Oh my God, but I gotta say it.
What? What happened?
What if what if crackheads get high on his street?
What if a crackhead does what? Wait,
Now,
wait.
like I couldn't think, like I know, like but what if his street is like one of the crackhead streets? Like that's like the strip where all the crackheads.
That's
That's
fucked up.
fucked up.
That's
I
fucked
knew I
up.
shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that, young. But the whole
They
world was
thought
going.
it. You. They thought it though. You said it.
Yeah,
They thought.
everybody was going. Everybody. One of my friends said you shouldn't say certain things. It's too soon to say them. I said, young. Honestly, I only say them to beat people to it. I know someone else is gonna say it. But like, can you imagine like walking out on DMX Boulevard one day and like y'all don't make no damn sense. Out here getting hot. And this zombie out, zombie,
You fucked
this
up.
zombie
Why?
out.
You fucked up. I mean, but what if they're getting high in his honor?
No, that's ah, no. Now, what's crazy is that is crazy. Now, do you know how like when rappers pass, there's usually a weed strain that's named after them.
Oh man, they gonna have that DMX.
I wonder where they named
Oh
DMX strain. That's like
dang.
the new thing now. Like
People
I
ain't
wonder where.
respect these days.
Yeah, I mean like some of it is disrespect, but some of it is homage. I mean, if his bud is fire, that's homage. You feel me? Like if they make some bomb ass DMX weed, like a strain called DMX that's really bomb as shit,
With a sprinkle of
man.
crack.
Nah, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But they could change Green Crack.
That's
They could change Green Crack name to DMX. Yeah, Green Crack is a really good strain. Green Crack is a really good strain. So now,
I haven't
of
had it
course,
crack. I just been too scared to try it.
you said you're just too scared to try it. To scared to try what? Crack?
Green,
Oh, the strain Green Crack.
yeah, because the person
It's a
that had
sativa.
it, huh?
It's a sativa.
Oh, I probably wouldn't want it anyway.
You would definitely be up.
Yeah,
Like
no.
it's a major upper. I actually had this author that I used to know, and her favorite strand was green crack. Yeah, and listen, bruh. Oh my goodness. Okay, true story. While I was shooting my video for my last video that I just shot for Waves, right?
Mhm.
We pulled up to the location to shoot the video, and there was two people literally on the side of the road, broad daylight, smoking crack or whatever in those valves, right? They was definitely getting high, right? So when we started shooting the video, they got in the Uber. They didn't want to be seen on camera, so they got in the Uber and rode out.
They had cell phones.
Yes, they did. But you know, cell phones giving away now. Obama, remember the Obama phones?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, all you need now to have a cell phone is a food stamp card or a health insurance from the state. That's for anybody out there that need a free cell phone, a little trap phone. Nah, but like honestly though, I've been getting into it on old book again. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have not been trying to understand. I want to say something to all these labels that's popping up, y'all. And I'm actually about to launch a label
hmm
with with a producer with Get Richard,
hmm
and it's about to be lit. But I see a lot of labels that's popping up and doing things right now. A lot of artists have been asking me, and this is where we come to my Success Express question of the day. A lot of artists have been asking me about signing and like what should they be doing and who should they be working with, and it's royalty time. So now a lot of artists that have been listening to me on this show have been in my inbox and they don't know what to do with this money now. Like
hmm
one artist, he brought in some good dough and he started shooting a whole lot of videos. Another artist, he brought in some dough and he's trying to figure out how to promote some of his singles and push his singles out. Another artist, he brought in some dough and now he's doing video shoots and re-imaging himself, rebranding, one of those new wardrobe, shit like that. Now, me, I got my royalties and I ordered a chain. Well, I'm officially a rapper now, right? So,
Yeah.
but now I'm looking at the game like I started to have some fun, like and go shopping and shit. But artists are asking, what should we do? What do we do now? Well, I tell artists this: you've done your tour, and if you've been doing what I've been saying, hitting your shows and doing your tours now you've actually accumulated some stock in yourself. Now you're actually what we like to call in the business, right?
Right.
And now you understand doing your shows, you make money, and now you want to raise your stock up. Well, now it's time, my friends. Now it's time to go on your campaigns. It's time to start your campaigns and start to making sure that you're going viral. All of these artists out here that's going viral have someone behind the scenes, a nice person that understands how to market and how to push them and how to make their shit go viral. How to make sure you using Instagram properly. I see a lot of y'all posting some pictures kind of ugly. Now I'm not gonna say nothing about your ugly faces, but what I am gonna say is you got to start using different types of camera phones, man. If you don't have an iPhone and you got some royalties, go buy an iPhone, please. I hear you keep, yeah, you said, sounds good. And now a lot of you artists are not understanding that the pictures that you take when people look on your page, these are pictures that tell if you're glowing up, if you actually like making moves in the industry, or if you just like real life, like scumming it, right? So you gotta be careful about some of these images that you're putting on your social medias, and especially when you're trying to glow up and you're trying to attract the labels, you might want to start actually doing stuff. You look at other artists' pages and see how they're using their pages. You know, like recently, an artist asked me, "How can I want to fix up my profile and I want to make it look good? What should I? How should I make my profile look, my bio look?" And he said, I said to him, "Well, let me see your bio," and it was not really good, right? I said, "Well, you need to look at somebody's bio and look at how that looks and then do it." He said, "Well, who bio should I look at?" The only person I could think of at the time, I just blurted out Drake's. I was like, I mean, not Drake's, but look at Drake's. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, "Oh, that's a good idea." You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Now, what I'm saying is not necessarily Drake, but whoever your favorite artist is, they leave footprints behind, right? If you look at your favorite artist and you see your favorite artist is doing um 100,000 views on a video and 5,000 likes, 10,000 likes on a picture and shit like that, why do you think that you're supposed to be in the same league with them if you're getting one like and 20 views and shit? Like, what makes you think people supposed to look at you? And if you're not gonna move how the people move, and that's why I keep telling people, originality, my friends, is over. You know what I'm saying? Like all the original stuff has been done. If you're gonna do
Yep.
something original, it won't be in the music industry. It won't be in the music industry. Build something, create something, and, and, and do that because the music industry ain't ready for no what you call original. And all these people that y'all think is original, they not. They like to do these things called samples and covers and imitation of art and but you can always tell who's someone's favorite or who they listen to growing up, you know, is in their music. So when you artists are asking me what should you do now with your royalties and what should you do now with this newfound success that you're having, well, you should do it all again. Everything you did to get that, you should do it. But now it's time to invest your money back into your career wisely. Because for all those career opportunities that you was asking, people were asking you, what's your budget? What's your budget? How much do you have? And I was telling y'all, you don't use your own money. You accrue your budget by putting in your work. And now you know what your budget is. So you now hit those people up or hit those opportunities up, and get to work. Get to work because
Yeah.
now you have a budget. Now it's not about I'm making money, I'm gonna do this, woo woo woo. No. All those things that you wanted to do that you didn't have the budget for, now you have it. Now the music, now you have to step up to the plate. And
Okay.
this is why I tell all you artists, it's not about your music. Y'all not y'all are not on because of your music. Well, some of y'all are not on because of your music. But a lot of you are not on because you're not taking and investing in yourself and putting back something to make something. You know? I mean, like I said, just because you have a house and you buy your house off, if you don't pay your electric bill, your lights gonna go off. You don't
Fact.
replenish the food in your refrigerator, it's gonna go bad. The food that's in there is gonna grow old and get molded, and eventually it's gonna have to be thrown out, and you're gonna have nothing. So you have to think of your career is the same way that you think about life. The same way that that boss that you was working for, and if some of y'all, whoever was blessed enough to make it up to a management position, y'all know everything to make that company run. Now you know what it takes to make yourself run. You had to order inventory. You got to order yourself inventory. You got to take care of this stuff. So that's what you do with your
Okay.
royalties.
Facts.
It's called residuals for a reason. You can always make it back. You just got to make sure that you make it more than you were before, unless you just want to be complacent. And then do you?
Stop.
Now, Jezebel, you know this week has been crazy on some other stuff. Like the Chauvin case started with the George Floyd situation.
It did. Hold on. Let me get my phone because my phone was on a charger, so I don't have my notes. Hold on one second.
All right.
I'm coming, y'all. I can still hear you, Six, though. I'm right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
So the trial has begun, and they've had various medical examiners speak on the cause of George Floyd's death. And carry on.
now, this case is about to push the envelope of all policing, but especially the policing in Minnesota, right? I've actually been following this trial. I've been waking up Monday and turning it on, and then Tuesday, and then every day it's been on. And I've been fascinated by how this trial is going to change the landscape of policing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also watching the change in the landscape of America, right?
Yeah.
We're not afraid to attack white people publicly, but we still haven't punished them yet. So I'm waiting to see what happens with this outcome. You know, I don't like any other line of questioning that's been going on with this case, but I am learning a lot about Minnesota Police Department, and they got to do better in Minnesota. I actually don't think I want to ever go to Minnesota or Minneapolis for that matter, based on how their police rules are.
I want to go to the Mall of America.
Yeah, me too. I do, but I'm afraid that I'm gonna have to like go in, have security to walk me around, make sure the cops don't kill me and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they have a lot going on. I'm with Charlemagne. I stand with Charlemagne on what he say about basically taking the police pensions. Like by penalizing the police, they'll think twice before they actually do the acts that they've been doing. Uh, Other than that, a simple firing, but I'm
But
still
they
my
do,
pension
they do
is
take,
not
they
going
do
to rip.
take their pensions.
Not all the
They,
time. I don't
well,
think
yeah,
so. I think that's why they do it. They're able to kill so carelessly. It's no real punishment. Like all you really get is a firing. That's it. You
but
get fired,
let me tell y'all, let
pension.
me tell y'all something that a lot of people don't know about success, right? Success used to be K-Ron. And K-Ron, when he was growing up, wanted to go to the NFL. When the NFL didn't work out, K-Ron wanted to be a police officer, right? So what I did was when I got out of the Navy, because I was an MP in the Navy, when I got out of the Navy, I went to be a DOD police officer. That's a civilian police officer for the military, right? And with that, I had to take police training. Now, the reason why I didn't become a cop in the long run was because I was making more money as a DOD police officer, right? Now that's like the same jurisdiction, but it was just I only had jurisdiction on military bases, right? On two military installations. So now with that, I had to take police training, and what I learned in that is there's a lot of things that they will never tell the public, right? But
Mm.
there's a budget. There's a budget for police shootings and police killings, right? Every month they get what is called like assurance, an insurance that goes in. And of course, if nothing happens, it rolls over. If something happens, it gets used. If they have enough to cover whatever lawsuit or whatever settlement that happens, right? So in training, when they're training you to shoot, they're training you to murder, right? They don't teach police officers to injure or to sustain or to really help life. They teach you to murder. And no, listen, really, because
This is
if
what
they're,
they.
I'm just telling you how it is, right? They teach you. They say at the range, they'll say you shoot all center mass, and you shoot until the subject is neutralized, right? It's no
Okay.
longer a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing about it is, a lot of people ask, why do cops shoot until the clip is empty, right? Because there's a thing called panicking. that they have to justify. Now, there's a thing in psychology, because I say psychology, there's a thing in psychology that is told degrees of psyche, right?
Mhm.
If an officer shoots twice, he knew what he was doing. If an officer shoots once, he's calm enough to make that decision that he only needs to shoot once. If an officer unloads the clip, he was scared for his life. He panics. You see what I'm saying? He's a psyche. They teach them when they go to court to say things like that's when you hear cops have to yell what they're using. When they yell and stop resisting, what they're doing is a lot of people think that they're telling that's something to the person that they're trying to arrest, but it's
Mm-mm.
not. It's to the people that's listening to this fight that
Yeah.
let them know that there's levels that they have to accelerate it. They're listening. Okay, one stop resistance, two stop resistance, four stop resistance. Threat level is raised. Six
Mhm.
stop resistance, 10 stop resistance. Threat level is raised. Bow bow bow. You know what I'm saying? So there's actually I know officers who literally failed out of academy because when we were doing self defense training, it's when we would have to there would be someone attacking us in a dummy suit and we have to beat them and yeah stop resisting, right? But there were a lot of people that when they would get attacked, they just stop beating the shit out of the person. And after they finished beating the shit out of the person, they got escorted out of academy. They got
Mm.
fired. They got let go because there was a lawsuit already. You know, like you didn't even yell stop resisting. And there was a lot of people that just went and yelling, stop resisting. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a gun training that we had to do. That we had to identify if the person had a weapon, if the person didn't have a weapon. If the person didn't have a weapon, you had to say, get on the ground. If a person did have a weapon, you had to say, drop the weapon, get on the ground. You see what I'm saying?
See, and
So,
that really just into this incident that happened. I think it happened in December with the lieutenant, the army lieutenant that was pulled
yeah,
over, the black guy that was pulled over, and the
that was
cops
disgusting.
kept saying, uh, what were they saying? Were they saying stop resisting? I
No, they
think
wasn't.
they have to
They,
watch
they
the
were
video.
asking them. They were saying stop resisting when they were trying to get them on the ground. Um, but let's just talk about their video. That video was the most deceptive video that I have ever seen in my life. Right? Those officers, first of all, didn't know rank. Those officers, second of all, didn't know rights, rules, and/or regulations. And this is what's happening in America, right? Black people are assuming positions that 10, 15 years ago, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like, what? This black person doing this? You know what I'm saying? But now we're doing it like every day. It's like regular now for a black person to be a CEO. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's regular for a black person to be a lieutenant now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know what I'm saying? Like these things are like normal. A black man was just our president. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
when we look at these things and we look at the white officers who are still stuck in time, that shit is
Now,
confusing to me.
the
Yeah,
watching the video, I'm gonna have to be honest. Like I was on edge. I was really scared for him, and it
yep,
bothered me how I felt. I'm about to just explain like how I felt watching the video. So they're telling him to get out of the car, and they're like, "Take off your seatbelt and get out the car." And I just in my heart knew as soon as he reached for a seatbelt, they would try to kill him. Like, why am I so scared watching this that it would just go to that extreme? Like, it's something wrong here. Something going on. Um,
yep, yep.
it's just
And
crazy.
that's the same way I felt. I felt like they were waiting for him. They wanted a reason to kill him, and you know why? Because dead people can't make cases against the police, and they rather kill a black man so they don't have to build a case. And now they wearing these damn body cams that don't seem to even matter. But what was more crazy about that is they didn't even know he was a lieutenant.
Mm.
Well, that one
They didn't
officer,
care. They didn't care. They pepper sprayed him. Oh, you a lieutenant?
and I believe that, and watching that video, that second officer, the one that was stand back, he knew. He knew that that was wrong.
Hmm.
But I saw superior, I saw inferiorness in him, and he saw superior in that other officer. I felt like the last officer, younger cop, was under control of this older cop that was totally violating a man's rights.
Let's talk about this here because his name is Joe Gutierrez. So that to me, I would like to know his from what descent does he come from? Because that raises another question. If it's not just but he may be Latin.
They punished like that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because I was scared that if that man reached for his seatbelt, they were going to like watching it like
As black men, we have to deal with traffic stops way differently. You see the other Minnesota guy? There's another killing in Minnesota, and this time he was pulled over for his tree hanging, his air freshener tree hanging on his rear view mirror. He was
mhm.
pulled over, and it was found out. So Minnesota is definitely under fire. Police are under fire, and it's never going to change. Now, got his music able to put back on Spotify or
Okay.
on.
Along with the injustices and issues that's going on right now, there has, of course, we are all movement that's going on. I just want to make sure that I use the correct words as I explain this. So YG, the rapper YG, had a song called the name of the song was Meat Thong. Previously, before it was edited, he had about going to Chinese neighborhoods and robbing them because they're known not to have bank accounts. So they're known to have plenty of cash in the house laying around.
Wow.
So the Asian community got wind of the song. I mean, the song is old. It's been out since 2014. But for some reason now it's coming up, and Spotify and other music platforms took down his music, took down that song because of the lyrics um, inciting Asian hate, as they
Yeah,
would
nah,
say.
that's not cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's not cool. I
Yeah,
mean,
so they were
wow.
saying that the music, people listen to the music and now they want to go and rob Asians, and it's putting their lives at danger, and such. So he has revised the song and it is now available for streaming, but he did modify the lyrics.
So now, what's interesting about that? First, let me go on record saying that I don't agree with the lyrics.
Okay.
But now let's go on record as well as saying, have America agreed, and let's just say the world. Has the world agreed that our lyrics control the world?
They're willing to censor. I mean, they're going. I mean, as far as censorship is controlled, like now, music platforms have the ability to say, "Hey, you did this. We don't want to support or play your music here," or "You said this. We're not going to play your song anymore." What happens to freedom of expression and freedom of speech? Um,
Freedom of speech and freedom of expression does not exist anymore. And actually, I want to go on record saying for Black people, freedom of speech and freedom of expression has never existed. Um, we're free to push an agenda. We're free to speak as long as it doesn't challenge the agenda.
now,
So with
are
that,
Are you familiar with the video that came out a while ago? It was a white guy and he was talking about music, and he was saying basically he went, I don't know if he went to a label, but he went to some people and they was like, no. And he was like, hey, I got a song about pedophilia. No, we're not gonna do that. Black people, could you sell it? And they were like, yeah, because it's marketable to the young black community. That's what they want to hear. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How do you feel about that?
Mm, that just pisses me off. But that's our fault as black artists. That's our fault as the black community. And it's crazy because a real good friend of mine, and I want to say he's one of my best friends. I have two best friends, right? He's one of
Mm-hmm.
my best friends. But he says to me this in these exact words: I don't listen to your music because you don't talk about the type of stuff I like to hear, but I want you to be successful, right? Now, I say, well, what is the type of music that you want to hear? You know what I'm saying? It's funny that I can even talk about it because I know he's not watching the show. But he says, he says, I said, well, what type of music you want to hear? He said, music for the streets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, music for the streets. And I'm like, my thing is, I don't know what people mean when they say music for the streets, right? Because for one, everybody's street experience is different.
Mm-hmm.
What,
I'm guilty of that too, though. I'm guilty of exactly that. I gravitate to the dark trap rap music, but it's not because of the lyrics, because I barely be listening to what they're saying. It's
I mean,
because
like
of the beat.
what's trippy is my son walks around and he's listening to artists like Young Manny and a lot of like trap music and stuff like that and drill music and shit, right? And I asked him, I'm like, why you listen to that? Like, how do you feel like you relate to that? And he says, yeah, I'm from the streets. And I said, what makes you think that you're from the streets? And he said, well, you're from the streets. And I'm like, yeah, but everything I did to get away from that, you know, so the child have to see that. Why is it that you're so attracted to it? I mean, my sons have never seen me in a fight ever. You feel me? But he's heard things. Now, at the end of the day, son, you're not in the street. Your music, I think you should be listening to. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
They
I don't know like what artists are out here to really like say what I think you should be listening to. But I don't think it should be like the I want to go ride down around and around your block with the chopper out. I'm doing a thing on the you know what I'm saying? Like what? You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I don't think that that makes well, no, I'm not going to even say that because I do believe that it influences your decision making and things that you want to do. You know,
mm,
there's a lot of people that I know right now who ride around with their choppers in their front seat, and most of them do it because the rappers say do it.
I think that's just crazy and that's just dumb. The same thing with the drugs. Like a lot of people say they try drugs because they hear rappers rap about it, XYZ, Elemental PQ. However, I've been listening to 3 6 my whole life, and I'm not a scissor drinker. I'm not a lean drinker. I don't snort coke. I don't pop what pills was they talking about? Oxycontins. Oxycontin. Like I grew up on that and I did not gravitate. Now I do smoke weed, but like I didn't just because they said they were doing those drugs, I didn't say, hey, and I listened to trap rap my whole life. I'm not out here shooting and killing people. You know what I'm saying? Might think about
I
it, but
want to
have
know.
so it's all about you as an
I mean, like
individual.
artists are at a crossroad because there's artists on Facebook right now, and he says he refuses to promote. He refuses to rap about the things that are in the industry. you know, and he wants to rap about like education and things like that. And I commend him. So he rapping about black power and black pride and things like that. And I commend him. But I had to ask him, I said, do you want to sell records or you just want to make music? You know? And like he's obviously in that new phase because he's like, I got 800 views though, and I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be the one to be like, bro, that's not shit. You know what I'm saying? But I just was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got 800 views, but I'm like, bro, you got to ask yourself this. I'm not going to sit up here and say, I want to be a rapper, right? And I want to make money in the industry if I'm not about to, like, figure out how to play ball. Now, everybody listens to my music. I'm never going to be a street rapper. I'm never gonna rap for the streets. But when we have blueprints out here that I keep telling everybody that keyword blueprints, there's a lot of artists that show you different lights and different ways to advance. I mean, let's let's just take Flow Rider for instance.
Mhm.
Now he started with what slip and slide, trick daddy and all them fools and shit, right? I mean now look at him now. Look at artists like Pitbull. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like
Yeah,
that.
flow. Yeah.
Look at artists like Kendrick Lamar. You know, we ask ourselves the quality of artists that promote the violence over the quality of artists that promote music. It's not even close.
Mhm.
It's not even close. Not
Yeah.
even close. Even an artist like Two Chainz at his level
Right now,
and
yeah.
his success, because he's not gonna come out of that trap. You know that lane that he's in. He ain't gonna hit a Lil Wayne status. You know what I mean? Lil Wayne gave his lollipop. Where's your lollipop? Where's his version? You know?
Mhm.
I mean, like, come on. A lot of people ask, why is Kanye West worth $6.6 billion? And a lot of people will put him at this. I find it ridiculous when I see people put him anywhere lower than number two on the rap list, right? I find it ridiculous when anybody put him lower than number two on the artist list. It's Pop,
Why?
it's Kanye, and then anybody else I want to put after that. I don't give a damn, right? But we ask why is he the most richest rapper in the game? Well, he's no threat. He's never been a threat. He came out in the pink polos telling y'all he was gonna rap through the wire no matter what. You know? Then he told y'all how when it all falls down. You know? He gave y'all he gave the whole industry a whole nother lane, a whole nother light of popularity that could be taken in the rap game. Because that you ain't gotta shoot them up. You can talk about being fly. You can talk about being flash. You can talk about your dreams. You can be vulnerable. You can do all these
Mhm.
things, but you cannot be a threat. I mean, y'all think Jay Z is a billionaire because of when he stabbed up and beat up the person that bootlegged his albums? No, he had to change his whole image. I want
Mhm.
to talk about how Kanye changed that image for him because everyone's gonna hate me. But we all know in '96, Kanye started working with him, and then he started selling his records and shit like that. But that's the end of it. Again, I don't understand why anybody puts Kanye West lower than number two. But what I am going to say is this: in this game, we understand music is influential, but we can't be in this music and say we're not gonna play ball. We can't just come out of the drum and be like, I want to make educational rap and uplift the people. And well, let's put it right. You want to be Lecrae and them? Go ahead. Yes, you can sell records. Yes, you can do that. But at the end of the day, guys, the whole thing with this show, I'm guessing, is you're gonna have to go to them labels. You're gonna have to give up something, some masters, some publishing, some songwriter credits, something. A lot of y'all asking, it's gotta be worth more than that. No, it don't gotta be worth more than that. Because at the end of the day, it's all about workloads and what you put in there to make that joint make it worth more than that. And for a lot of artists, y'all don't understand how to raise your stocks up and you don't understand how to keep working. And when you ask yourselves why rock stars last so long, well, they tour until they're 100. Rappers, rappers, we do. I mean, how often you see a rapper going on tour? When a rapper on tour is probably what once a year, twice a year, you catch a rapper on tour.
Mhm.
But you can catch,
That's
but if you was like some rock shit, you can catch a rock show probably all year round.
yeah.
All of them. They call it rockers call it world tours.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Artists call it whatever that album is tour. And quiet as kept rappers, y'all put yourselves on that tour cap. That's something that can never stop. And y'all put yourselves in the tour cap, and that's why when the labels see that you want to only do the bare minimum, they're still going to invest everything to make sure they get all of the money out of that tournament. They're gonna get everything out of it. You know what I'm saying? Just because you do the bare minimum to work your record because you think the label got you, they're doing that to make sure they get paid. You know?
Mm,
And you gotta do what you gotta do for you to get paid. And that's just the game, man. It's how it works. And I want all y'all artists out there, you know what I'm saying, to look at artists like, DMX, you know what I'm saying, that you put together these labels and you put all these other artists on. That's how you last in this game. Being a legend is about what you leave behind. And this dude left a lot of stuff behind, a lot of stuff on his legacy, and a lot of artists are going to eat forever because of him. And that's what a true legend is in my book. When you make sure people eat off of you for the rest of their life, long and you eat as well. That's the game. Jezebel,
Mississippi, what's going on with that?
I'm gonna tell y'all, this Huffington Post is gonna be interesting. It's about time I told this story. So I went to Mississippi, guys, in this week's Huffington Post. I was down in Mississippi, down in the deep. And I tell y'all one thing, Mississippi got it down bad. Down bad. Now, I should have known something was wrong when the J's that they was rolling was the size of Bony Tony Bonies. And I felt like if a guy made a dub into four J's, that guy has a problem. Then I said to myself, fuck it. Let's just go for the shebang. We're in the hood, right? I say, I know there's weed around here. Now, they say, you need some weed? I say, no, I don't need some weed, but I gotta buy some since I'm here, and I wanna see what the Mississippi scene is like. He says, I got some diesel. I say, sour diesel? Sign me up. Now, y'all, everybody know I'm a sour diesel whore. If I hear the word sour diesel, I kind of just like pull out all my coins. So I went on ahead and went for it. I got a whole bit of it, right? No, I think I bought a half. I'm sorry, I'm lying. I bought a half, right? And as I'm sitting there and I'm partaking and breaking down this, I asked again, I said, is this sour diesel? And everyone that has been avid fans of this show, y'all know what I hate. Sour OG.
Mm.
Y'all, it was Sour OG. Not
Oh.
only was it the worst Sour OG, it looked good. It was one of those Decepticon strands. It looked good. But as soon as I hit it, all huff. And I tell y'all what, I rolled up all of it. I actually ended up only getting 7 J's out of the half because once I realized that it wasn't no good, I started putting 2 grams in the blunt. Listen, for the record, he was smoking a cigarette, and that's disgusting. So he put 4 J's of a cigarello. The J looks so small. I don't know if y'all remember when you used to roll up and practice smoking with the paper in the house. That's what it looked like. So Mississippi, y'all made it this week's Huffington Post.
Hey. Mm-mm-mm.
Jezebel,
Sorry.
what you got coming up for us?
All right, so next week we got Fridays. We got 100 DMV coming through, so that interview should be lit.
100.
I definitely came across some good weed. So I've been smoking good. Got some blue cheese, some power something, and marathon. So
Marathon again, eh?
yeah,
And
I
I
was
was
really
blessed.
for it. Somebody bought it for me. I really didn't. I was like, oh
I was
okay.
blessed to get my hands on some cookies.
Cookies with a G. I
Yes.
need to find that. I need to
It
find
is
that.
great. It is great. I actually took a look at it. I put my good eye on it, and I went on ahead and grabbed up a zip, and I'm
Oh,
enjoying it. I've been enjoying it since for about a week now. Um, I also got my hands on some White Widow and some sherbet. So Yeah, it's been pretty good so far on the home front. All's been well. I've been staying away from the north side, also the west side. Riverdale, Riverdale redeemed themselves, y'all. I want to let everyone know that Riverdale has officially redeemed themselves. They bought me some runts, and they told me it was real runts. So I knew when they said real runts, the last time they said it, it wasn't the real one. All right, y'all. So Riverdale's redeemed themselves, and at this time, you all should be flicking off those ashes, throwing them into the ashtray, getting ready to roll up another blunt, because I know I am. Jezebel,
Hey,
we
sis.
out.
Bye. Thank y'all for watching.